Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles. Today we're going to continue our new theme here of doing things to celebrate and honor Valentine's Day. And with February in general, you just kind of think of tulips blooming. Living where I do in Nagasaki, we have a very famous little miniature kind of Holland town that's called House Tembus, and they have so many beautiful, beautiful tulips planted there that bloom really maybe mid to end February, I guess, normally, but just such a gorgeous flower and a really great gift for people for Valentine's Day. I know we usually associate the rose with this holiday, but I think, you know, getting some really beautiful red tulips can be really beautiful too. So I thought I'd show you guys how to make, now I've got some tulips made already here, and this is just the traditional tulip origami, but you'll notice, for example, here what I've done is I've taken the stem that you normally see, like so, and that creates a nice standing stem for you to have your flowers in. I want these to be kind of a long stem so that they can rest inside of a nice little basket or tray. And then that can be used as a decorative piece. You can use it as a gift to give to somebody. So many different uses for it. So, but what you can do is just real simply, you know, instead of doing the extra steps there, just when you get to this point of making that part, you can just fold it in half and you get this nice kind of wider leaf kind of image for the tulip. And then we can use that to kind of put these inside of the basket when we're done. So I used top paper for all of this. Get some nice little different varieties of red and then a yellow. They just happen to be the colors I had around, but lots of different ways you can make this, of course. Both of these, all of it was made with just 15 by 15 centimeter paper. So I've got the 4 of these completed, and then I was going to take some of this paper here to make a basket. Now I'm using the paper that is the basil craft paper, and I've got this nice one that has this really cool texture to it. This is from their texture series, and just feels like a nice basket kind of texture. So I'm going to use this for the outer part of the basket, and or tray, if you will. And then usually when you make the handle, you use the same size paper here, but what I'm going to actually do is just, what you start off with for it is you fold it in thirds and then do the extra tapering at the ends so that you can get a nice curve to the handle. Rather than wasting my paper and having to deal with really difficult folds for that, I'll just cut a 3rd strip of this when I'm ready to use this. So let me go ahead and first show you guys how to make the first part of this kind of cart or tray. So what we're going to want to do here, if there's a front or back, you want to make sure of that. This has more texture, so I'm going to leave that facing down. Just want to start off, and I know my space is not big enough to show you guys, but you want to make basic horizontal and vertical creases. Now this basil paper does not fold very well. You want to take your time and make sure you get good creases, because that's what's going to make all this kind of fit together nice. And then make big diagonal creases too. And like I said, it's tricky because it's big, and it's tricky because it doesn't necessarily crease very good. Take your time and make sure you get this first part down good, though, so that you can get good like lines set up for everything. Then we're going to do a blend space. So I'm going to just go ahead and fold each of my 4 corners to my center here. Still keeping that pattern side down, so that now we're seeing it when we pull it towards the center here. You should see some of that. So we get that all folded into the center. Then I'm just going to go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to do the blend space again by folding towards the center one more time. This gets trickier as we do this because we're dealing with a lot more layers now. Try to start things off, get good points to stuff. Try your best to keep things lined up. And if you don't want to totally destroy your nails, you can use like a ruler or something to kind of help you along. Just Be careful not to put too much crease because then you can weaken the paper, but we do want to get things folded down here so that we wind up with something like this. Now I'm going to keep it here with the parts that I just folded over, and what I want to do is I'm going to fold one side, but when I do I want to make sure that this part doesn't get a crease, so I'm letting that part pop out and just folding it towards the center and allowing that part to pop out underneath. And then you're just going to do this for opposite sides. So I'll do this side too. Get a really good crease there. And that should now effectively give you the bottom part of your tray. And we're going to then create, and you can see it's kind of a cute little angled tray here. And we're going to make a handle, and then we can lay those tulips there inside to kind of finish off our display. So I'm going to put this to the side for a second, and we're going to take that other color of paper we had here. And again, this, normally when you make this particular tray or basket, you wind up, like I said, folding this in thirds, but that's just going to be a waste of my paper, and it's also going to make it really difficult to fold. And the truth is the handle does not need to be that reinforced. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a third of this off. And you can either measure with a ruler, or you can try to kind of get it rolled around here to make an S to find where a third is about. And you do need this to be pretty exact because it's going to need to fit into the spot that we're working with here. And if anything, you want to try to shoot for a little smaller if you can. You don't want to make a mistake of making it too big. So I've got that kind of marked off, and I can just cut that part off. So you can kind of see if you're kind of doing this right, because the width of the paper should be about the same as the width between this diamond shape. And then I'm just going to taper off the edges here so that I can then slide that into the base of everything. And I'm going to again try to keep my textured side, if you have one, facing down. When you taper off the edges, one thing we can do first is just kind of find where the center is by pinching things together. Now this is a little tricky because the paper is a little thick, but you want to just give it a little pinch, and really once you get the first one down, then the others then it works pretty good. If you're worried about making this straight, you could make that crease there in the center a little longer, or you can kind of just guess it. It doesn't have to be exact necessarily. I'll do this side too. We do want to kind of avoid having a big crease that goes all the way through the middle if we can, because it just looks nicer without it. Just try to create a nice 90-degree angle there. And do that for both sides so that you get that nice tapered edge. And then this part, you know, really, you can choose if you want to glue it, you can, or you can just leave it to just slide right in here and create what will basically be a nice big wide handle for this basket or tray. And it really kind of holds on its own pretty good. It's just basically a really cool little container. And then when you've got your tulips that you've made, you can kind of arrange them in here. And I find that when I did this with regular origami paper, the tulips were too heavy with taunt paper, and it wound up making this fall over because the heads obviously are pretty heavy actually. But when you use thicker paper like construction paper, or especially this kind of scrapbooking paper, it works so great because it really holds the weight of the flowers. So you wind up getting a really cool, pretty decorative piece, and it makes a beautiful gift and shows a lot of care went into it if you make it by hand. So yeah, I hope this can be something fun to add to just your general enjoyment of flowers or celebration of Valentine's Day, whatever it might be. And I'll try to have some more fun projects to share with you guys in the future. Thanks again so much for watching. Bye.